All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash, Rakatham. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and the salute and the shalom to all the Akim that are out here labor pushing this truth in all sincerity and in truth. Yesterday at work, think it was on our last break, right? On our last 15-minute break, walking back to the section, this guy I've known for a while at the job, me and him was having a conversation, and I forgot how we got on the topic, but he's from the he's from the East, right? He's from the so-called Middle East, right? And he was telling me how corrupt America is, right? How corrupt Babylon the Great is, right? And he said, in the East, in the East, the man rules the home, right? The father chooses the wife for his son, and the father chooses the husband for his daughter, right? And he said some other things. I forgot what he said, but what he basically said the ancient way needs to come back to the earth, right? He said the ancient way is basically he basically said the ancient way is the right way, basically. Now, I looked up the importance of the ancient way on Google, the AI overview. The ancient way represents a return to foundational time-honored principles, often rooted in spiritual, ethical, or cultural traditions that provide stability, wisdom, and direction in a fast-paced or chaotic world. It acts as a guide for living with purpose, offering in many traditions spiritual rest, moral clarity, and a connection to wisdom passed down through generations. Right? So the guy basically said, the way of the East brings order. See? Now, let's look this up. I typed in the benefits of the ancient customs of the ancient world. It says, uh, um, ancient customs provided foundational benefits that fostered societal stability, technological advancements, and holistic health, many of which still informed, modern life, blah, blah, blah. Key benefits included established social cohesion, agricultural and economic development, advancements, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, let's get this. What's that? Yeah, Jeremiah. Jeremiah 6 and 16. It says, Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see. Well, Jeremiah 6 and 16 says, Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Shai, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, where is a good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said we would not walk therein. Right? Now, so the old paths, the good way, the ancient way leads to order. Right? Where the where the man runs the household, right? What the man says goes, right? The where the where the wife doesn't rise up against her husband, all right? She doesn't do whatever she wants to do. See, she obeys the commands of her husband, right? And also the children are raised right. This is Jeremiah 18 and 15. It says, Because my people hath forgotten me, they have burned incense to vanity, they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths, to walk in paths in a way not cast up. Right? Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. See? Right, man? But you have a lot of Israelites that that don't like the ancient way, that don't like the ancient customs because it makes them uncomfortable, because that's not how they were raised. Psalm 77 and 5. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. Right? This is Job 8 and 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. Shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their hearts, or out of their heart? But it says, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of thy fathers. All right, man. Jake, man, the ancient way will be kept in the kingdom. All right, man, because here because here in the West, there is no respect for elders. Let me see something real quick. All right, this is Leviticus 19 and 30. Come on, man. Leviticus 19 and 32. It says, "Thou shalt not rise up before the hoary head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear thy power. I am Yahweh," right? It says, "Stand up in the presence of the elderly and show respect for the aged. Fear your power. I am Yahweh." See? Hold on, real quick. Look this up. Let's see. I looked up. Yep, I looked up. Is respecting elders an ancient custom? Yes, respecting elders. Say yes. Respecting elders is a deeply rooted ancient custom found across nearly all traditional cultures, serving as a cornerstone for passing down wisdom, history, and social order. See? It says from Confucian principles of blah 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 in ancient China to biblical injunctions to stand before the aged. Hold on. This is Proverbs 16 and 31. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. Right? Now, let me get this. Let me look this up. Leviticus. Leviticus 19 and 32. All right. This is what Chat GPT says. Leviticus 19:32 breakdown. You shall stand up before the gray head and honor the face of an old man. You shall fear your power. I am Yahweh, right? Stand up before the gray head is a physical sign of respect. In the ancient world, standing was a way to publicly acknowledge honor and dignity. Gray hair symbolizes age, experience, and longevity, not just hair color. Honor the face of an old man, right? Goes beyond a gesture. This is about attitude and behavior. Honor includes listening seriously, speaking respectfully, valuing wisdom gained through life experience. See, says it applies broadly to the elderly. Say not just men despite older gender language, blah blah blah. Says and you shall it says and you shall fear your power. This ties respect for elders directly to reverence for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. In the Bible, fear means all respect and moral awareness, right? Let's see. All right, man. So now, is this kept here? Respecting the elderly? No, it's not. All right, man. Now, it also says what, man? To honor your what? Your father and your mother. All of these are ancient customs. It says, honor thy father. This is Leviticus 20:12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Right? Let's type this in, the importance of honoring your parents. Come on, were you serious? All right. All right. I typed in the importance of honoring your parents in the ancient world, right? It says honoring parents in the ancient world was a foundational virtue rooted in survival, social structure, and divine command. It ensured the transmission of wisdom provided for aging generations and maintained family stability. It was often viewed as a duty to Yahweh, equating to obedience and respect and care, right? It says failure to honor parents was in many cultures considered a socially disgraceful with severe consequences, aging from social ostracization to, in some biblical context, severe punishments. All right? Now, let's type in the punishment of not honoring your parents in the ancient world, right? All right, all right, it says in the ancient world, particularly under the biblical law, failing to honor parents, specifically cursing or striking them, was a severe offense, punishable by death, often by stoning. Such actions were viewed as acts against Yahweh's established order, warranting extreme penalties to maintain family authority and community stability. All right, man. So now, do people here in the West, do they honor their father and mother? No, they don't. Instead, they disrespect them, right? They talk about them bad, right? They even will hit their parents. When it says this in the book of this is Sirach, is it 3 or is it 4? I think it's Sirach 4. No, it's Sirach 3. Here it is, Sirach 3 and 1. It says, "Hear me, your father, O children, and do thereafter, that ye may be safe. For Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, hath given the father honor over the children, and hath confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons." Right? "Whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sins." See? So if you honor your father, guess what, man? Jake, man, your sins could very well be forgiven. And he that honoreth his mother is as one that layeth up treasure. Whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children, and when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard. See? So, Jake, man, if you want your prayers to be heard, man, and if you're not honoring your father, amen, if you're not doing that, your prayer won't be heard. It says, "He that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto Yahweh Shem Shah shall be a comfort to his mother." Let me see something real quick. Let me see something. See what Chat GPT says about. Hold on, let's see what Chat says. Let's see. Okay. This is Sirach 3 and 6. I just read it, right? It says, he that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto Yahweh Shah shall be a comfort to his mother, right? It says, let's take it line by line, then pull it together. He that honoreth his father. Honor means more than politeness and includes respect in speech and behavior, care and support, especially in old age. Right? Because it say what? Hold on. Let me see where it says it at. Right? It says what? Yep. Here it is. This is Sirach 3 and 12. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth. Right? And if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not when thou art in thy full strength. See? It says, honor means more than politeness. It includes respect in speech and behavior, care and support, especially in old age, loyalty and gratitude. Right? In the, it says, shall have a long life. This echoes the fifth commandment, Exodus 12 and 20. It's like Exodus 20 and 12. Long life can mean literal longevity, a life marked by stability, blessing, and divine favor. Wisdom literature often presents general principles, not guaranteed formulas, blah, blah, blah. And he that is obedient unto Yahweh Shemal Shah, right? Obedience to Yahweh Shemal Shah is placed alongside honoring parents. This shows that respect for parents is not separate from faith, it's part of it. Parents, especially in biblical culture, were seen as Yahweh's representatives in teaching, wisdom, and law, right? Now, it says this, to teach them to your children. Deuteronomy 6. Here it is. It says, I'll start up. This is Deuteronomy 6 and 1. Now, these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, your power, commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go, in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear Yahweh Shema Shah, thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's sons, all the days of thy life, that thy days may be prolonged. Here it is. And verse 7, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk with them. It says, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, when thou risest up. Right? It says what? And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. Basically, always remember them. Now, it says this. Train up a child. This is Proverbs 22:6. It says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. See? Now, let's keep on going. It says, shall be a comfort to his mother. Honoring and obeying Yahweh leads to relational harmony. Comfort implies emotional peace. Relief from worry, meaning what? Your mother won't be worried about you, right? Because she'll know you're in good hands because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It says pride and joy rather than grief or shame. See? Come on, man. It's simple. Now, y'all know where I'm going already. Y'all already know. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Bowing hospitality. Says in the ancient world, it says, yep, I typed in bowing hospitality in ancient world, right? In ancient world, bowing was a fundamental gesture of hospitality, symbolizing deep respect and submission and the acknowledgement of a stranger's dignity or divine angel-like status, right? Now, I'll just go all the way up with it. Hold on. I gotta get it, Jake. I gotta get it. Ah, come on, man. What is this doing that? You serious? I gotta get it. Hold on. Didn't expect this lesson to be this long, but it's all good. Is it I want to try to figure out if if it's up here or here it is. Bowing hospitality. This is number 9. Bowing hospitality. Genesis 18 and 2 to 3. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away. Right? Meaning what? Don't leave yet. I pray thee from thy servant. There are different modes of bowing in the East. In this case, the word used, shakha, right? Shakha, denotes complete prostration of the body. In this, the person falls upon the knees and gradually inclines the body until the head touches the ground. See also Genesis 23 and 7 to 12. Let's get Genesis 23 and 7. Let's see. It's all right, It says this is Genesis 27 and 3 to 12. It says, yeah. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. Right? So Abraham, he bowed before the Hittites because he was in their land. He wanted to show them respect. See? It says, and he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat for me to Ephron the king, to Ephron the son of Zohar, right? And Abraham bowed himself before the people of the land. See, he was just showing what? Respect. All right, man, because when you're in the ancient world, man, when you were in another person's land, man, you had to show respect. Genesis 42 and 6. Yep. It says, Genesis 42 and 6, it says, And Joseph was the governor over the land, and it was that sold to all the people of the land, and Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth, right? So even Joseph's brothers, they even bowed to him. They showed respect. They didn't even realize it was him because they haven't seen him in a long, long time. Genesis 43 and 26. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house and bowed themselves to him to the earth. See? There is in this text a beautiful illustration of Oriental hospitality. The company of the travelers is solicited as a personal favor to the host, and all the resources of the establishment are used for their entertainment. See? So when you have, so in the ancient world, when you had a visitor, right, you had to make sure that they were what, comfortable, that they had entertainment, right? You had to make them feel like they were at home. Modern travelers often refer to the earnestness, with which this hospitality is urged upon them at the present day. It is not always, however, to be regarded as unselfish. In many instances, a return being expected from the traveler who is thus entertained. A recent writer says, Arabs, yeah, and the guy that I had the conversation with at work, he's a he's a he's a Jake, but he thinks he's an Arab, but he's an Israelite though, right? By his spirit. It says Arabs are still fond as ever of exercising the virtue of hospitality as they practice it. It is a lucrative speculation. The Bidal Shaki, I don't, Sheik, yeah, the Bidal Sheik, knowing that he must not nowadays expect to entertain angels unawares, takes a special care to entertain only such as can pay a round sum for the accommodation. Blah blah blah. Okay. All right, man. So that's the lesson of the benefits of the ancient way. All right. So with that, I say shalom. And hopefully this lesson was edifying. All right. Shalom.